All right, gentlemen, let's get going here. Today, we're going to be talking specifically, ladies and gentlemen, I should say, we're going to be talking specifically about sales funnels. Okay, so we are at the point, last week we discussed CRMs and their role in creating a sales funnel. This week, we're going to tie it all together in terms of how do we take and build a properly scaling sales funnel. So for those who have been here each week, you'll know that the entire process has been based on the course map, which is we've first of all identified our ideal avatar. We've differentiated ourselves and our offer by research. Third is we should have a powerful or compelling offer at this point that we want to launch. Three, we have a system or a process for dealing with clients and inflow. So leads. Next, we're going to look at the actual sales funnel that helps us to take somebody that's cold, doesn't know us, a stranger, to being warm. And I'm going to show you how we do that without taking a whole lot of risk, and then also how we're going to be able to identify where we have bottlenecks or problems with our sales process. Okay, so in the chat box, I've given you guys all a workbook. Okay, so everything I'm talking about here today, a lot of it's going to come back to what's in the workbook for the step-by-step for those guys that are implementing on your own. For guys that we're implementing for, hey, it's good to know. Also, as you guys know, we want you to be able to repeat the process. It's not just about setting you up with software. We want you to be able to understand your core offers because you need to make adjustments, right? I'd rather work with you as a team member and help to assist you than try to constantly fix your problems. Okay, so let's jump into this. We're going to actually go a little bit ahead here. What I want to show you, can you guys see my screen? Okay, so what I'm showing you is essentially an offer. Okay, so sort of through the weeks, we've been discussing a core offer that we've developed with Greg Electric. Greg Electric is he's going to be selling car charging systems for EV cars. Now, part of our problem when we were doing his research and that we came up with is that it's a very saturated market. He's on the West Coast. Lots of people buying car chargers off of Amazon and then legally installing them. There's a whole bunch of regulation issues, but there's massive demand. So we knew that demand was high. There was exactly 666 permits pulled for EV chargers in Abbotsford, exactly where he was. Okay, so he also services the Vancouver area, so we knew demand was high, but we knew that at the top of the funnel. So if we were marketing to the top 3% of prospects that were ready to buy now, okay, using a Google or a Facebook ads campaign, the cost to acquire a customer was way too high for the return on the investment and the timeline that it would take to install them. So what we did is basically we stepped back a little bit and said, okay, does everybody that goes to buy a car charger, are they ready to buy now? How do we get somebody that's maybe lower in the decision-making process, where they are, thinking about buying a Tesla car, high-end executive? What would their problems be if they're just starting this out? Okay. And what we were able to kind of figure out through Google searches and backing it up with our data and validating is that a lot of people, before they buy the car, they research how much these chargers cost. That's a big core problem in their decision making whether to buy the car or not. And one of their biggest concerns is that they'll be in a public lot having to charge their cars. Okay, so again, if you're an executive, you're high 6-7 figure income, you don't want to be in a public charging lot. There was some other concerns about females in car charging lots and all types of things that we picked up on using Reddit forums and researching kind of what the core problem was. So we do have a lot of high income, high net worth people there. And their buying behavior is a little bit different. So we actually looked at the buying experience for Tesla cars. All right. So on average, somebody that's buying a Tesla car is prepared to wait 6 months. All right. They get put on a wait list. and they're waiting for their car for 6 months. Now, Tesla's done a wicked job. And a lot of this is what we call funnel hacking, and looking at how they actually manage their clients and how they're able to get clients that sign up, give them a huge down payment, and then sit on a waiting list for 6 months without squawking too much. Okay. And it's really about how their customer journey worked and how they actually marketed directly to people who could afford their cars, and the ideas and the messages that they were sending. So one thing that we've really identified, which is again something that I think everybody that's even interested in sales or marketing needs to understand, is the principle is this: people buy emotionally and they justify with logic. Okay. So never forget that. And anything that you're doing in marketing and sales, it's the emotions. We can't sell people logically. Okay. So that's the gap with contractors. That's why this market gets so taken advantage of by marketers, is because by and large, we're technical people. We know how to technically do the job, and we always try to go to our logical side of the brain. Think about what a contractor does. It's very much a logic-based process. If you want to be good, everything we're dealing with is logic. And here's the thing: people don't buy on logic. All right, they don't. Giving them specs and that's not going to move them to buy something. All right, very rarely, anyways. All right, unless you're talking to a highly technical person. No. And just think of yourself. We're all emotional beings. That's the part of our brain that is hard programmed into us. Okay. And where it comes from is, just think about it. Why do we have a reaction when we're scared? Why do we have why are those things in us? All right. They're predictable as well, right? Well, it's simple. When we were on the savannah and there were lions, the ones that could react the quickest survived, right? They didn't get eaten. So that's why they're still around. And that's still hardwired into us. So the human being has actually evolved to be a highly emotional person, like emotional being. Okay. Marketers know this. So when we're thinking about how to offer a service, we shouldn't be thinking about the logical way of selling it. Is I do a great job. I know I good job. Like in your brain, you can explain how you do everything. And that's where we tend to gravitate to. But that's not how human beings make buying decisions. In fact, it can actually push them away. All right. We want to think about pain solution. All right. Pain solution. What are they suffering with? What is the problem? What is the struggle that they're having? And how do we easily solve it for them? All right. When we start to think more along those lines, marketing and sales becomes a lot clearer. All right. Even the communication that we have with clients. I don't ever in having conversations with you guys as well. I never try to logically say, hey, you got to do this or you got to do that. I mean, that's always after I figure out exactly what it is that you're trying to do. What's the actual motivation behind why you're doing it, what you're doing. All right. If I don't know that, and I don't know that, we're doing it for the right reasons, and that I can actually, see your vision, I can't help you. Right. And the same thing goes for your customers. If you don't know them intimately enough to know, at least on a surface level, how to move them emotionally into, trusting you, into buying from you, into feeling comfortable with you. And here's another one: like when shit hits the fan, are they freaking out and thinking that they made a bad decision almost instantly and reactively? Or are they going, oh, he's good, I trust him, he can handle this? Right? These are the kind of things that our marketing allows us to do and subliminally communicate ahead of projects, ahead of time. And for certain, again, when we really get, into the weeds with our customer base, we find certain things that really move certain customer groups. So bringing it back to this particular funnel, the values and the emotions that they would, that we want to bring out in them is obviously that that they can trust us. I mean, that's first and foremost. So integrity. Okay. One of the big things about somebody that's actually researching, you got to think about, like, an executive level, they don't buy like middle class does. Okay. They don't make decisions the same way. They don't even look in the same places. All right. So when we start to think about that avatar and really coming back to them, are they the type to, make a rash decision and just hire the first guy they see, or fall for an ad that's lowest price? No. All right. They know that they're thinking about the car, right? They're thinking about all the other things that would be included in that cost so they can make a decision. Okay. That's the first thing, right? So they want the car, but they're smart enough that they'll go through and they do the research. So the way we designed his funnel, and all the marketing is designed around getting a low, median, and high price for installing the charger. Okay. And the keywords that we're actually going after are research keywords for EV cars. Okay, so one of the big searches is how much is a Tesla car. All right, we can now place ourselves there, and pixel whoever's coming through it. Right. The other thing is, finding people that are, already, maybe on a waiting list and now need the charger. They know they have 6 months. All right, we're going to push some urgency in our ads. So again, if you've bought a car, you know that it takes 90 days or more to get a permit to install a charger. Okay, that's something we're going to use to create urgency. All right, now the how this funnel particularly works is we're going to offer them the low median price at the very beginning in exchange for their contact information. Okay, this is what we call a lead magnet. They're going to go through, give us a little bit of information. We're going to give them back some highly valuable information. And that's how much these chargers would cost at the low level, the median level, and the high level. That's it. All right. Based on where they are. And, going through it and being responsible with it, but it's an application page. But inadvertently, they just gave us some very important information that we need for our marketing. And as I've been telling everyone, marketing is mainly a data-driven process. Okay, so we're going to get some really good information. Now, the way we've opted to do this is because we want to move this along quickly. They're going to opt in. We're going to collect their information. They're going to go through an application page where they're going to get their piece of content back. So it's actually a survey. And then they get a report on what they would expect to pay for that EV system. And it's really double backed as a sales page. All right. It's a PDF that they're going to receive. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have a caller. And I'll explain to you why all of this was placed. Okay. They're going to have somebody reach out to them and contact them. All right. And to find out really kind of, person to person, what their timelines are, when they were expecting to install it, deal with any sort of minor objections. And the hope here is that we can actually get them to move, and we can help them to design their system. Okay, we can get them committed to actually moving forward with the project, and we're going to test it out. We've already tested the front end. We're just in the back end now, where we're going to actually be able to self-check them out and have them hold a deposit. Okay, this is all done through funnels and a phone call. All right, so this may look like a funky system, but you're literally looking at how we map out funnels. Okay, so a funnel is not just a landing page. A funnel is what happens when they don't go through with the offer. All right, well, we have a follow-up. We have a text follow-up. We wait a day, and then we have another text and an email, so that people aren't falling out of the funnel. And each one of these you'll see has, a conversion rate or a percentage of like how we can, how many people would move through it. And I'm going to show you some crazy numbers here that are going to be pretty, it should tell you the tale. So again, when we're booking appointments, we know they're flaky. There'll be first attempt, second attempt, like to get them to these appointments where we can actually sell them the car systems. I know that from my own experience. And the opt-in pages. All right. So retargeting, we've talked a little bit about that throughout. So segmentation. So when people come through, when they come through different parts of your funnel and you're able to collect data, you're able to segment them. So basically you can put them in different buckets. Okay. So the way that I best can explain this, if somebody's come through and shown that they did the application, the next step was to book the call. Okay. In the application, we found out that they're waiting 2 to 3 months for, until they get their car. All right. That's a top prospect. All right. They have the money to invest. They are in our demographic. They're in our area. So coming back to that prospector, that's going to allow us to check enough boxes where we're going to put them in a high percentage bucket, where our follow-up will become unique to the information they shared with us in the application. So for example, knowing that they're going to be 3 months away, we might send some emails that create urgency around that deadline. Okay, because we have it. So that's a very simple thing to do within the CRM. We're going to be able to now segment them knowing their date of when they receive their car. So think about how I can creatively create an email. I'd say that 3 times fast, creatively create an email. That speaks directly to the pain point that they've expressed to us, right? Giving them a countdown, giving them a timeline, telling them, how long it takes to get building permits, all those things. So now I'm speaking with them rather than at them. So if you were to look at, if I just generalized it, if I just blasted everybody with the same emails that said, hey, I install, EV chargers. Well, how many ways can you vary that email? It becomes pretty stale. And really what that's called is spamming. Okay. We don't want to be spammers. We don't want to spam our information to people that don't care about it. The point of this and where we are now with marketing and sales is that we have to be very personalized as much as we possibly can, because it's so hard to get through the noise. Okay. 10 years ago, these funnels were far more simpler. Okay. It was far easier just to have a landing page with some Google ads set up. I mean, you could have endless leads. The algorithms have changed. Everything is requiring us now to really, again, be very thoughtful of every step that they're going to take. Okay. The good news is not a lot of companies get it right, period. They're not willing to put in the work, the effort, the energy, and they don't have an understanding between the customer and the marketer. All right. So I'm going to call it the old way. And we're going to see a lot of that kind of start to fade away, where, the lead man or the lead company would bring leads to a landing page and that would be it. That was where they would stop. Okay, great. How do we know the quality of the leads meet our prospect? How do we know that this is the right kind of lead? And a lot of times contractors are the worst at getting back to people, responding. Definitely no contractors are creating lead magnets and trying to attract somebody in the lower fields, because they don't have the means to continue to follow up with them for 3 months, 6 months, a year, right? They don't have that in place, whereas we do. Okay. So this is the benefits of it. And this is where you really start to build multi-channel, robust marketing system that leads into actual conversions and sales. Okay. So I purposely went out of my way here to show how the live person here will actually convert into sales. So let's give it a shot. The cool thing about it, anyone can, use one of these programs. I use Guru. It's just, one that I use. There's many of them out there. But it allows you to model what your funnel will look like. And then we're going to take data that we know to be accurate or true. So, cost per click in Facebook on average is $1.68. All right. For these particular keywords. All right. Pretty easy to see. We're going to run it, 2,000 clicks is, a pretty decent campaign. I know I'm going to pay about $5,000 for that. That gives us enough of an audience base to see if we're on target. All right, so let's go ahead and simulate this. Oh, and we've also built in the costs of his services and everything else. So an EV system, the product costs, like his ticket price. And again, from last week's homework, getting your actual ticket price, knowing your margins so that you can build in enough marketing or have an offer that liquidates the marketing cost. Okay, so he's going to charge about $6,500 per unit. That's actually the median side of the market. So we have a little bit more room to go up. When we did our research, we found that systems were going anywhere from $1,500 all the way up to $9,000. All right. So our initial campaign is going to go at the $6,500 level. And there's lots of factors that go into that. We're also going to actually sell the EV chargers ahead of the and this is a little bit different, might not apply to everybody, but we're going to actually sell the EV chargers themselves as a separate thing. Greg has a direct line for EV chargers, so he can sell them wholesale. So that's also why we built a sales page where they can check out, use their credit card. Everything is going to be credit card based, so collecting payments. The other reason we went that route, Tesla cars and Tesla buyers, I don't know if anyone knows, but there's no dealerships for them, right? So everyone's buying them through Tesla, and a lot of them have to get, a lot of them put them on credit cards, believe it or not. That was a pretty cool statistic we found. So we want to mimic that whole buying experience for them, right? So when you go onto Tesla, you can pick your car out on their website. I don't know if anyone knew that, but you can design it and put all the features and stuff in. So they've really thought about that journey, and it's all based on speed and convenience. Okay. All based on, those options you can buy. And they've done a really good job on just, encouraging you to upgrade to certain things. I don't know if anyone else, if I shared this last week or the week before, but one of the biggest selling products for Tesla right now is sweaters and cups. Pretty crazy, eh? So people that buy a Tesla car are so much a fan that they are going to buy, sweaters and cups and other offers that Tesla make, which I thought was pretty good. Extended warranties, all these other things that you can think of. And a lot of us have these options too. So again, keep your mind open to what you can offer, either as a lead magnet, which is free. There's then what we would call a tripwire. That's something that's like a home inspection, low cost, low barrier entry, $50, something along those lines, but it provides more value. From there, we've got our core offer. All right, that's our, what we offer as a service, but we're going to package that to make it enticing for a client. From there, we would have things like our profit maximizers. All right, so profit maximizers to me means they bought the metal roof, but now they want to upgrade to the 24 gauge, or they want to buy the extended warranty or get a better paint system. And really, those maximize my profits on the job. So, and they're easy to upsell. Okay. So when you're thinking about your offer, you may want to consider those things. Is that what's our baseline price? Call that our good, our better, our best. All right. And how do we add features or things that we can upsell or downsell, so that we're giving the customer options and making it making it so that it fits them. Right. The other thing here that we want to keep in mind is people don't like to be sold to. Pretty hard to have that conversation in the middle of this, but I figured I'd throw it in there. So there's a reason why this system would not work just trying to push them through a website. Okay. And the way that we're supporting it, again, is calls. We're not trying to push them to a sales call because people don't like to be sold to. We're having a discussion with them about their project specifically. We're trying to lower the sales resistance, and make the offer obvious to them that it's the natural next step. Make sense? We're also going to use, like we talked about last week, our CRM to gauge or to score their engagement. Okay, so not everybody would get necessarily a call. It'll only be the ones that were truly engaged, the ones that finished the survey, that followed the steps. Like those are the ones that we're looking at the behavior that they're displaying to us, opposed to just calling everybody, out of the blue and getting hung up on and having our stuff go to spam. All right. Spamming people is not good. Again, this is how we stop it. So like only when someone's engaging should you continue to send emails to them. All right. If they haven't opened your stuff in 6 months, take them off your list, because what will happen is your URLs and your emailing privileges will be taken away. And they've cracked down on that pretty good. Don't ever send anybody you don't know text messages. Those are big no-nos, big fines for that as well. So you'll see none of this is, they have to opt in. We got them to agree for us to send information to them. All right. So it's all above board. So let's simulate what this funnel should produce. And this is why you use them. Okay. So realistically, it's about 117,000 in revenue based on the data that we were able to collect in our research. So that's actually a conservative number for Greg's offer. Basically, he wants to take roughly an eighth of the number of EV chargers that were permitted and installed last year. Permitted was a big thing. So people who actually got a permit, because there's a lot of illegal ones we can't even count. But these are permitted EV chargers. Okay, so he wants to take about 18 per month. That works out to roughly one install a day, which he has for one crew. Okay. Breaking down his costs, again, he's priced them at 50% net. We still have room to move up. All right. But you'll see that it covers all of our marketing costs. So this is a perfect example of what it means to liquidate your marketing expense. All right. And exactly what I'm trying to run home for you guys in terms of understanding why you're spending money on marketing. Okay. And marketers know this. So it all comes back down to what's our ROAS. So every dollar he spends, he's going to get back $21.83. Okay.
In revenue.
In revenue. Right. So in profit, he's looking at about 49,742 per month for one or two crews he figures that it'll require. All of his above expenses are covered here, right? Including his merchant fees, products and services, all that stuff, and becomes a very scalable offer, right? So what has to happen to hit these numbers? All right. Not all of them, and especially when you first start, will immediately get to this. This is, again, I would give this 90 days to mature. But this is how we actually start to diagnose and to make sure that we're going to hit our numbers. So let's start with our ads. Okay. And then now it might start to pull things together for you guys. Okay. So what do our ads need to hit? Well, when they hit their conversion page, we've got to hit a 20% opt-in rate. Okay. To be able to maintain the number of people we want to come through. We need to get 400 people through our application page. Okay. All right. And
Your
then
landing page converts at 20%.
well, because it's a free opt-in, right? So there's no resistance to that. Like it's not like get a quote or anything. It's reducing the sales resistance. So it's providing a high value piece of information that they need to make a decision, right? So that's why we're getting them there.
And that opt-in form is on the Meta platform.
No.
Or is that on the landing page?
It's a landing page itself. So we're measuring all that traffic coming across. So this would be an actual, because it's connected to a calculator, right? That's going to calculate, they're going to fill out a survey. And this is all done within the Contractor AI. So like all of that is all done in like natively inside of it. So you do this whole thing, you can see the sales, the conversion, you can set up tasks for the person to call, like when to call, how to call, the scripts, all that jazz, right? You've also got the data when you jump on that call that they've given to you, right? So you aren't calling people that are saying, I don't need it for a year. They're going to go into a nurturing sequence. Okay. Right. Where we're going to warm them up to it. And by the time they make that decision, we're first top of mind. Right. We've built authority and trust with them. Yeah.
So for someone like who's a design builder, one of those offers could be like different floor plans for your basement at different price points. Kind of
Yes.
thing.
So it can be,
okay.
But let's think about what, like, again, with builders, I've tried tons of different things. The best and the most successful one that I've had is case study. Tell me what we can do. Tell me what the problem is that you solve and give me money. That's basically what it's come down to. So like for me, I think about the pain that like a builder has. So most builders are on a cost plus. Okay. They don't give a shit. Like if they're only looking to have less work in the process. They don't want to deal with babysitting a trade. They don't want to deal with having to go back and forth a lot with the trade, having to do shop drawings and all those kind of things. They want the trade to do it. As much as you can be the builder, all right, that's how you win over with them. And then you give them a kickback. So I call it a rebate program. That's been the nuclear part of my offer. And that's why builders, honestly, that's the icing on top. I give them 1.5% back, knowing that every contract they have has a 20% cap, right? That they can only make their cost plus, right? So they're only making 20 points. Well, you're increasing their profits. So that rate there alone will get you more in the door than anything else, right? While eliminating. So again, I'm going to give you this while eliminating this, and this. So emotionally, what was their problems, right? Do you want me to kind of
that goes back to your offer creation?
Correct.
On the landing.
Can you share your offer
page?
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. So my offer, again, we work with a case study. So this is a two-pronged thing. So this is the first step in us building a relationship. And this is to totally cold builders, don't know us, project managers, property managers, like they don't know us from Adam. So first of all, we identify their pain point, right? Mm-hmm. What is it that they're pissed off about? What's keeping them up at night? Well, they're sick of waiting for, guys to, schedule their jobs. They've got, language barriers. They've got inconsistency, roller coaster, like in terms of the manpower. They've got the never ending story. They got the lost dialogue, the details that were talked about but never implemented, and then it comes back and bites them in the ass. They've got safety issues. They've got jobs that just take forever to get done and make them look bad. They got the quotes that are 3 miles long that, they have no idea what you're talking about, right? They just want to get the roof done. That's, been the experience that they've said to me. Quality is a big problem, right? So we tell them how they're feeling. We're like, yeah, this is how you're feeling. And then bam, here's my offer. Here's how it solves it. So it's direct for manufacturer materials. The reason this is important is because we don't have delays in our schedule. We can give you a scheduled date almost as soon as you sign a contract with us. More importantly, somebody that's pricing apples to apples doesn't come in and the price is way out of whack. So if a homeowner goes and gets a retail price from someone and brings it back in cost plus and it's 30,000, 40,000 more, that makes the builder look bad, right? So we prevent that by making sure the spec is apples to apples, by being detailed, controlling that rhetoric. Straightforward answers on delivery. So again, when's the delivery? When's the job getting done? Scheduled. Like for their homeowner and for themselves, they can't get their construction mortgages until the roof is on, right? So
You
yeah,
run something on Facebook that gets builders. So you target builders somehow on
not through
Facebook
Facebook. No, it's not,
through
Facebook's not.
Google.
Nope. No, so we use it's actually cheaper than any other campaign you can run. So we use combination LinkedIn, cold email, and Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's pure engagement. It just goes straight engagement. There's no ads, no nothing, because builders won't click through an ad. That like it's just I mean, and the cost to acquire them is so high, it's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
And we're going after such a small, narrow part of here. So, for example, in the Toronto area where I am, there's only 268 qualified builders that fit this offer, and out of that, I'm working with 30. So every year, I'm
Holy
basically going,
shit.
yeah. So again, but we know them because we research them. Like there's a game to this, right? Like you're either
You
playing
go to
chess or you're playing
LinkedIn.
checkers. Yeah.
Yeah. So you go on LinkedIn, you're like, I know who I want to do business with.
Right. And then you target them and then you go after all of their executives and all of their like decision makers, people in the field. Like you're hitting them with messaging that, gets attention to your offer. It's no different than ads, but you're doing it like, and we use an automated
Yeah.
Way
system for
more.
that, right?
Yeah. Give.
Yeah. So
Jab,
again,
jab, jab.
we build it up. But what's it all coming back down to is that when I do get in front of them, most guys offer their services. I don't offer my services. I offer the solution to their problem. Right? I don't. The services is irrelevant. They're going to get it whether they get it from me or Chuck in the truck. Right? The days of just saying you're the best doesn't work. Okay. What we have to really think about is what is holding them back and what keeps them up at night. And it always comes down to the same things if you really are paying attention. So,
Yeah.
right. So they want, obviously trained, experienced crews, but they want efficient 5-day estimate turnaround. We give them, and this is for the homeowner, we do the 3D mock-ups and detailed drawings. So architect, homeowner,
But your
dealt with.
your opt-in is this case study.
Yeah.
They're like, hey,
Yeah,
so
and
then you
because we're
say,
going
and
forward
then,
with it. Yeah. So like we're actually engaging with them and discussing this piece of content.
Yeah, sure. And what
so
would be the second piece of content?
So watch, I'll show you how you do this. Okay. So again, like you go through this, here's the rebate thing. All right. So
Cool.
we back this up with how we manage our jobs. So again, most guys go, yeah, our jobs are well managed. Sure. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Right.
It's company cam.
We use company cam, we show them, and then we get into the specific projects. So this is designed only to work with the top level builders. Why? Because I don't want to work with the guys just building fucking shacks. None of my
Very
stuff
nice.
says I build shacks, right? I work on shacks. I'm like, this is the largest diamond tile shingle roof in North America. This had 13 roof systems on it, green roofs, like one of the most advanced roof systems on it. It had metal shingles, you name it, right? Copper, like everything and anything. It's a Nordic spa, right? This is a golf course, prestigious golf course. And then we get into like the custom houses. All of this is sending a message, right? So if you're a builder, would you call me for a fucking a shingle repair?
No.
No. But would you call me if you had the fucking,
The best.
the best
Crazy.
job of yeah, right. And it's another subliminal message that's going out. And where we drive this home with the phone call is very soon in the Toronto market, there's going to be builders that are going to go all metal with subdivisions. We're putting that message in their ear and working with the manufacturers. And again, coming back to all the lessons we've been sharing, that's why doing all of those steps and squeezing your supplier, squeezing your trades, squeezing to get that offer in line, you'll find yourself in the position that I have, right? So we know we're starting to get tenders. That's how close it is. So once a whole subdivision goes all metal, one's going to follow the next, going to follow the next, because they're all trying to outdo each other right now. And we've worked it out that it's actually, again, for condominium corporations, it won't be long before the government actually gets lobbied to improve that, environmental efficiencies lifetime values, like all of those things. So government property managers and stuff will be putting steel on their roofs. They're already starting it. It's already beginning, right? So again, just through the data that we're watching, we know it's just a matter of time. And that's why we've chosen to cut everything else out of our offer and just go hard in on, hey, like we are the metal experts. And like if there's that opportunity, and as we educate our builders who may not even offer metal to their homeowners, right? So again, we see a lot of houses where builders just aren't aware of it. They're not they're not problem aware. You know, they've got a homeowner that you know, $180,000, $200,000 on the roof isn't fucking shit. They don't care. I mean, we're installing consistently $100,000 roofs every fucking day, right? Homeowners do not care, especially ones that are building their forever houses, passive houses. I was explaining that. So like here I'm using a piece of content to pull out, you know, things that they would be stressed, like the passive houses, finding our unique niche. Okay. This message, like we've gotten a lot of feedback on it. It sends a very like straightforward message, and the people who respond to it always have the projects that we're looking for. We're basically telling them what we want, right? And it's an underserved market. So now, in terms of following this up, so again, when we're discussing funnels, let's talk about that. So engagement's a big deal. You do not want to, like, you can blow, if you just think that you're going to send out 10 emails that are unrelated to what you've sent or any of the conversation, that's useless, right? You want them to get, you want to really understand the nurturing process. And it's not just look at me, I do all this great stuff. Okay. It's look at this problem I can solve. Do you have this problem? Right? Are you experiencing this pain? Showing them, you know, pieces of your business, of your, you know, using your social media. Great opportunity to build that in. You'll notice in my offer as well is that I offer collaboration there. Most builders have very bad marketing and their problems are the same as yours. Okay. So they want, you know, reach. So again, we offer that. We give them, you know, we promote their, you know, doing their jobs. And we, you know, we're even, you know, stepping that up this year in terms of adding drone photos and stuff like that. So like a lot of builders are interested, especially if you're on Instagram. This is a great like part of the offer that adds bonus to your core offer. Okay. So the other part of this is if you're establishing yourself as kind of the highest level, you know, producing the highest work, you're going to get a lot more requests for other things, right? So all of our other areas of the business have grown. Aluminum, service, all those things have actually grown from building these relationships. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, when thinking about your funnel, most of us kind of get through the landing page, all right, where we want to drive leads to, and then that's it. There's no follow-up. There's no nurturing. Like, what happens if somebody didn't opt in? What do we do with them?
That's all I'm doing. I'm running ads, you know, bidding top max click CPC, absolute top of search, landing page, maybe moving my form above the fold.
Yeah. That's the most expensive. It's a very expensive way to acquire a project, and it's unstable.
Especially this time of year where everyone's low on cash and everyone's bidding top dollars.
Yeah. So, and again, if so, the way that the algorithms work, guys, the way you want to think about it, is if you're able to, like, think about the problem that the algorithm has, all right, and you're able to kind of think about your funnel and how it would serve that. So the algorithm wants to do one thing: is keep people on their pages as long as they possibly can, so that they can feed ads to them. That's the only place that they're making revenue. Okay, so again, when you're running a Facebook ad, you know, you can have it be a lead form in Facebook where they get the opt-in, they get the free PDF. All right. You can avoid, you know, building the landing page out here if you want. That's one option. As long as you've captured the contacts, and that's where your CRM will then drive them. And I still drive them back to a landing page. So I give the algorithm what they want. All right. So again, I can give you a clear example. They fill out a Facebook form. Okay.
Yeah.
They get this PDF sent to them, but then my SMS message is, hey, did you get the PDF? And then my bot takes over to try and chat with them to get them to take the next step. Right. So now we're engaging versus
you can implement, like, say a contractor would say, hey Jay, this is awesome. I want to get started with your program.
Yeah.
You can go from client avatar off system design in 90 days.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, less than that. Less than that.
Especially if your client is engaged in your whatever.
Yeah. So again, with builders and B2B, it's even like it's all based on engagement. Okay. So the
or B2C.
Yeah, B2C. Yeah. So again, the same. This could be a B2C. So this is a B2C funnel is what I'm showing you, right? This is meant for a customer. Okay. A B2B. Again, it's more upfront engagement, and you're coming to them with a solution to a problem that they know of, and you should be able to. So B2B to me is a lot easier than B2C. Okay.
Really, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
well.
and it brings in it's the numbers. Okay. So I only have a group of 230, 240, 50 like builders that I could actually work for that fit the category. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Why would I run fucking $100,000 worth of ads to get to those 200? Makes no sense. I already know who they are. Right. And I can just reverse search, figure out everybody that's been in their business, like anybody estimator, anybody connected to them, their suppliers, all of that. That's all public information.
On LinkedIn or whatever.
Well, yeah, LinkedIn, and we use other tools, scraping tools that find, anything they put on the internet, like Google Anywhere. It can be all scraped.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like we use Seamless AI, and we can, we know when you're like everything about your birthday, all of that shit. Right. So we put that into the CRM. We get that, we get all that data extracted. And once we have that, now I have a campaign that's meant to go for years. Right.
So,
and even,
so take the average contractor working with the average marketing firm or whatever. We talked about what their solution is, right?
Yep.
Google Ads, maybe whatever, with landing page associated with it, right?
Yep.
So what I've been taught is you negative out the dollar per square foot, the how to, the material information phase, right? Because those aren't people that actually looking to buy. And to your point, those are lower CPC search terms. So you're able to buy those search terms. And then because you have the funnel nurturing process in place,
right,
you're able to build a relationship and convert over time at a lower price.
Correct. So it's also intent. Okay. So in all the algorithms, you can set up campaigns for intent. So setting up a campaign for awareness, because the algorithms are so fucking smart. Like if somebody's searched on their phone and has touched 3 other pages of like, decking companies, okay, they know that they're now like, that's what puts them into that 3%. Okay. That's what puts them as an active buyer. All right. And the algorithm now is going to sell that for a higher price because they've shown intent to buy. You don't want that because everybody else is there. You're just a commodity. Okay. The trick
that's
is
exactly what I am. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm trying to differentiate based on landing page.
And that's why CPAs become so expensive, because the algorithm's looking at, hey, you want like action right now? No problem. I'm going to sell that to you for $20 because this person's ready to buy now. They don't give, like, again, it's all based on the behavior that you're displaying, right? Now, somebody that's not ready to buy now and is searching for a solution to the problem, or not solution aware, introducing yourself there is far more powerful, because now you're not the commodity. You're the trusted source. You're the trusted, right? Yeah. So by building yourself up in that category and then staying in touch with them, right? Like, again, people want things when they want them. Right. They want to be, again, we're moving more and more to this society where it's just, we can jump on Amazon, get exactly what we want. Why would somebody wait for you? Or like, even thinking, like, just think of the brain power of thinking of that contractor that you seen, in ads. Like, it doesn't work. It's not effective. Right. So again, our campaign should always be awareness first. Okay. Let's create awareness. Let's get clicks coming through of people that, are categorized as in the research phase. Let's build our authority there. Okay. We want to continue to, provide value. It's the type of copy and stuff that you use is different, right? Again, it's an opt-in, it's something free. We're trying to capture their contact information for future date, right? So they're a marketing qualified lead, not a sales qualified lead. Okay. The mistake that people make, though, is that they try to jam their marketing qualified leads into their sales qualified lead, too quickly. Right. And then you lose them, and it's guys like me that see that whole thing, and it's just a simple question like, when are you thinking of getting this project done? Oh, it's 3 months. Okay, I'll speak to you 3 months. That gives me 3 months to warm you up and continue to be the authority, so that when you're ready, I'm the only choice. Like, you're not even getting other quotes. Right. So I move more business that way for big projects, big things, because again, the bigger the projects, the longer the decision making process is. Right.
So and for someone like me or Eric, who might be going B2C construction, would you, like, when you look at the different platforms, would you target something like Facebook, or would you target something like Google?
No, I wouldn't even bother. It's too small of a market segment. It's too narrow. So like the cost to do that with ads is just through the roof. It's a dead end. You can't do it. Like, again, think about how many of your ideal buyers there are in any given market, right? Unless you're doing like a whole province or something, but it's just too narrow of a buying group, right? So that's where you have to get more strategic, and it has to be, and the way they do business is different. So again, in knowing the avatar and researching, they're not clicking on ads looking for trades. They're having conversations. People are reaching out to them. Like, they're getting solicited all the time. Like, the experience of the builder, and like they take recommendations and stuff. So think about the effect here. If everybody in that narrow circle knows my fucking name, and whether they like me or hate me, somebody brings it up, they know who I am. That's all it takes. Right. So, and it's pounding that year after year after year after year, right? Like constantly, like being in their ear, whether they like me or not, because some of them don't. I'll never do business with them. And that's okay. You know what I mean? I'm still they haven't unsubscribed to me yet. Right. So at the end of the day, I've still done my job, and that there's total awareness of who we are. And again, if I want to move quickly, and they know, like, anybody that needs a metal roof, like, we're getting those prices, right? In bad markets, good markets, it doesn't matter. Like, we're still, and especially right now, it's showing that's where it's paid off, right? Everybody's dead. Everybody's fucking squealing, right? But there's still that demand in the market, and I'm still landing jobs left and right. You know what I mean? So it doesn't affect us. That's what the power.
When you said the search volume's low, you were talking about the B2B market, not necessarily the B2C market, right?
No, B2C, totally B2C. It's like literally flatlined right now. Flatlined for us. We have no, like, I'm not even running ads right now, B2C. It's completely flatlined. And it's for a good reason, right? So like we were talking about, like, and this is where, like, builders and stuff, like, they still have projects in their pipeline that we might not have considered doing last year that we would consider this year. But again, it's just a matter of calling on them, right? And now all these projects are being, presented to us to take. So we see a shift in the B2C market, in that most of our consumers last year were middle class, which we've talked about. Right now they're, just listen to the news, man. Everyone's scared money, right? So when that happens, it's a good thing for us, because it means resource is going to turn over. Companies are going to go bankrupt. Like, there's lots of companies kind of in trouble already. We know it. It's just a waiting game now, right? So it's going to be a slow spring, no doubt about it. Like, not for us. Let me make that clear. We're going to have a record year this year. But for most people that are out there, and I can see by the ads, right? Like right now, my keywords, so like metal roofing new market, for example, like $28 a click right now. I'm not fucking buying that. Like fuck that. Like, I don't need to fight with the dogs for that. I mean, ultimately, I have a database of 63,000 contacts. We ran a snow guards campaign. We generated 1.5 million in revenue. Like, I mean, these are in and out jobs of all the, like, again, this is what this accumulates. The contacts worth more, and over time, the lifetime value of that customer goes through the roof. You know how many roofs we have? Several hundred clients that we've installed 2 or more roofs for. Several hundred clients. So we have clients, probably about 100 or so that we've installed 4 or more roofs for, like, that they've moved houses, and or they've had multiple insurance claims. And again, it's using the CRM by keeping in touch. Like, everything's a campaign, right? We're never letting one single contact get out of sequence, right? Unless they opt out. That's the only time we'll stop. The only time. Yep. Because like, think about your ads. What is your ads doing? It's going back to people. You're flashing your ads in front of people, but you're paying for every time they see them. If you're capturing contacts, now you've got an email. How much does it cost to send an email? $0. Okay. So just to bring this home in terms of my point here, guys, I'm gonna explain to you one thing. I'm gonna share with you my return on investment for email. Okay, compared to everything else, my return on investment for email over the years combined is 39,000%. Can't beat that, right? The closest one that I have to that, would be our referrals, which is like a 70-to-1 return. Right. So again, think about
how do you measure that 39,000%?
So
well,
it's
meaning he doesn't have much expenses running emails, and he converts sales, right? So what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. So all the contacts that you gather or collect, right? So like, think about all of those contacts. There's an expense to gathering the contact, yes, but I roll them into campaigns. So for example, my Facebook campaign, I'm holding the ROAS on the Facebook conversion campaign. All right. Now, most people drop it right there. That's your ROAS. But what if you were to take that customer, increase the lifetime value, and didn't convert them now, but in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year? What's your return then? Right? That's where the keeping track of these things. And over time, that's where the accumulation of it becomes, right? Once they hit a nurturing list, and this is what I mean, this is how I measure it. My nurturing list, so that's the accumulation of all the campaigns that I've run. Every one of them starts with gathering someone's contact information. That's it. Period, right? So once they've rolled through the campaign and they get put into a nurturing list, that's what I'm counting. That's my ROAS. So the only expense that I have to my nurturing list is the expense of me writing the emails and the software to like send them out. That's it. Right? The rest of them were like, they've been through all of my sales funnel. They've gone through all of the different steps, right? We've gone through the, conversion, we've done the text, the emails, everything to convert them on that campaign. They didn't. Okay. Now they're basically what everyone would consider a lost thing. And I'm just putting them into a nurturing list. So out of that nurturing list over the years, I mean, still to this day, we're generating about 40% of our leads from it. So that means that they've gone through at one point or another a full campaign and then ended up on a nurturing list. And we just keep, I would just keep blasting them. Right? Different offers, different deals. Like you never know, right?
Yeah.
So roughly, what you're saying is, when you generate a contact, a substantial percentage of them are marketing qualified, not sales qualified, and you use email marketing as a method to nurture marketing as SMS.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing about like a 50-50 split between when you generate a contact, 50% of sales qualified, 50% of marketing qualified.
Give or take.
And then that's how you see the return on.
Yeah, no. So let me be clear about that. So again, they follow the full cycle of whatever your campaign is. So if your funnel, for example, so let's take this as a campaign. Okay, this whole sequence. Let's say you're going to follow up with them for 90 days. That's like, here's 90 days of follow up. Here, I'll maybe even show you one that's maybe more accurate to it. All right, let's take alarm company one. Okay. Once they fall out of the sequence of the funnel, so like, let's say they've gone through all of these things, okay? And they didn't convert. Now they're put into that nurturing sequence, which is its own campaign on its own. And it's basically like, this is your Hail Mary, right? That's what I mean by that's where I'm gathering my return. Now, each one of these campaigns, like this one, for example, would have a different ROAS to it. So like, there's no cost to acquire this customer because they already have these customers, right? We're going back to them and reselling. So I would measure the ROAS on this flow, right? If I brought in 200, how much did it cost me? And then how much did I convert by the time they were through the funnel? Make sense? Because somebody's not going to re-enter the funnel over and over again. Once they've gone through this, you're not going to repeat it. You're going to put them into something else where you can nurture them from. So that's what I'm trying to make the point of, is how many of you guys right now, have lists and emails and contacts that you've just let go and just been like wrote off, like they didn't convert.
I do.
right?
I have a list, not
Cool.
big as yours, but I have a list. So
let's take that email list and make some money off of it right now. All of you guys, every one of you guys here have contacts in your email list right now where we can run a whole campaign for free, right? Minus like a little bit of copy and stuff, right? To get people interested again, right? Let's say the worst case scenario, you get 1 job out of it, 2 jobs, whatever, right? You have the same exact likelihood of converting as you do with ads, even actually higher, by the way. So, you're running more of a depending on, the quality, you're going to run a 3 or 4% click-through rate. You'd only fucking wish to get that in your ads.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it's all about how you view the asset, right? It's all about how you can organize these things. And again, even customers you have, how many customers have you done business with that would do business with you again if you contacted them, right? And it doesn't take much. Yeah. So here we are always looking for more leads. Once I stopped looking for leads anymore, I was like, fuck that. That's a rat's fucking thing. You've got to time everything out so that you're constantly running campaigns that give you consistency, and you're looking at your funnels for where are the holes, where are the gaps, where are the things where things are leaking out of. You have a conversion problem. Okay, now you take your funnel and you walk it all the way back to the beginning. Let's look at our ads. Is it speaking to the avatar? Is it on track? Is the offer scalable? Okay, once you can say yes to that, okay. Is it the sales page itself? Is it converting at where it should be? Yes or no, right? Like, then you go down the line. Am I losing people in follow-up? Is it the messaging? Is it you can just literally go back through, and you're always optimizing those things. Over time, you've got a funnel that's just a fucking monster, right? Like my funnels, again, I turn them on and it's just literally, it's like printing money. You know what I mean? And again, now I've learned to, over the last couple of years, is to match the same funnels with my recruitment and hiring, right? They're the same fucking, so when I turn them on, I flip the switches on both of them, right? And again, you're always improving. Yeah.
Quick question, Jay. So if someone, wanna go ahead and having you guys like building like a custom like sequence like that, like what would be the next step?
So again, the only step to that is we map out where your funnel is, and we've got your funnel maps, right? So and then adding follow-ups to that, like adding those campaigns, like all you're going to do is map that stuff out, right? So I mean, jump on a call, we'll map it out, we'll run the numbers, see if it's worth it, right? Because a lot of times we come up with things in our head, when the numbers, if we just looked at the data, it's not worth doing, right? If you're running a Google's campaign at the highest time of the year, and your fucking conversion's only going to be, down in the basement, and you're going to pull the garbage. Like if I ran Google ads right now, I know I'd only get people looking for jobs. Like that's all I would get. It's like, you're fishing at fucking low tide here, right? So, don't set yourself up right now. What a great time is go back to your email list, go back to contacts. Like that's what I'm cycling through right now. Big push of builders, people I know, relationship building. Like now's the time. They're slow too. Like they will be busy in a fucking month. Now's the time to do it. So you gotta pick up on those things, right? So if I want to go after builders, I know that if I try to have this campaign in the middle of March, they're good luck. They won't even see your emails. They won't open them. They won't engage. Right now, they're in their office a little more often. They're, thinking about the upcoming year. They've got the same problems you do, right? So just fucking connect, right? Engage. Make sense? Right? The worst thing you want to be doing with marketing anytime is being reactive, right? That's what I'm trying to teach you guys as a principle overall, is you look ahead, you look at your sales numbers, you look at like the story's right in front of your face, right? You want to get off the, the merry-go-round. The only way to do it is to step back from it and look at the pattern, right? If you took your sales and you measured them over month to month for the last 2 years, even, you're going to see where you need to be turning on certain marketing campaigns and turning things off in advance. If you're making decisions today for things that need to happen tomorrow, you're toast. Every decision I make in my business right now happened 90 days ago. Okay. That was a conscious decision I made. I live 90 days in the future, and especially with marketing, because things are fucking gold at Christmas. Fuck, we swamped, right? I know better. I know everybody does the same fucking thing every fucking year. Mark my words, they that Christmas break happens, they just drop their guard. Everyone gets lazy. They just wait for things to happen. Fuck that. That's when I'm raiding people's crews. I'm fucking, I'm the most hated man in the business for a reason, right? I'm turning my fucking, I'm going level 10. I'm stealing their clients. I'm crushing them in fucking ads where I need to. Like, this is the time to be moving when the whole market slows down. You speed up, right? It's just motion. So then when you come out of the gate in the spring, now you've accumulated their resources, and we're in the resource fucking game. That's what I'm trying to explain here, right? We should always be acquiring resources. What are the two resources we need, right? We need fucking, we need staff and we need crews and we need fucking work. Okay, great. So figure out how to get really good at acquiring those resources. Once you do that, the rest is all a formality.
I'm signing up.
All right, Jet guys, I gotta jump. Appreciate you guys showing up. Hopefully this is giving you a clearer vision of what we need to accomplish. For you guys, I want to get your funnels. Actually, looking at everyone's getting their funnels mapped out. Jump in. We'll have a call. See what we can do for you.
Quick question on top of that. Sorry about asking that at the end there. So the Guru app, is it like something connected with Contractor AI GHL or?
Yeah, no. So it's not that, but I have the don't go buy it or anything. We'll like if you're working with us, I'll give you access to it. Don't.
Yeah.
It's expensive. There's other ones out there. I've got like some free ones. You can use Flowchart too. This one's just really good because it shows you the type of pages. So like all the campaigns you see out there, they all are like standard features, right? There's actually fuck all for variety. Like, I mean, a landing page is a landing page, an email is an email, a text is a text, right?
Yeah. But is this provide any automation or connection with other software, or it's just to map out like?
No, it's just to map it out. We have the other things for tracking it, right? Like we take the numbers out of GHL, so like you can see your conversion pages and like all of your ads and all that stuff. That's tracked in there. So we take the data from there to feed into this to model it. It's meant to simulate it.
Okay, so it's just to map it out the Guru app. Okay, a little bit like Lucid.
Exactly. But it's more, but the difference is it can actually calculate your returns, right? So that's where if I'm checking, like you see how it pulls in, like if I'm going to spend this much money, what can I expect back? And then ahead of time, like what your targets are. Rather than just guessing at it. Yeah.
Okay. That's the difference.
Big difference. And then it allows you to pass it off too. So like, again, I'll just quickly go through it. I have no affiliation with them or anything, but it'll show you kind of what the reports are like.
That's very nice.
Dream profit, blah blah blah, your MRR forecast, and then you can get a list that just now the funnel you can just here's the emails I want, like everything's made there. It's pretty slick.
And then to get the final details, do you have to import some data there, numbers?
No. So what you're going to do is basically, again, you're going to check it against what you're doing. So for example, if we took,
let's say we got 2,000 emails, or whatever. 10,000 emails.
Let's just take one that's active right now.
That's been very beneficial when you can understand all these different metrics and numbers.
It's just being able, and that's the most important thing, right? You want to know if you're winning or losing, and it's hard to tell sometimes. So in that PDF I sent you, the best one to use is Google Analytics. I gave you a whole step-by-step on how to track it. All right, because that is very, very important, right? So, but where you double check on all this stuff is you come in here in your stats, right? So like that will tell you the true story.
Very nice. Very nice.
So again, it's all data driven. Like I said, everything is like you want to have an idea, and then you research it. It becomes more of a theory or a thesis backed up by some fact, and then you launch them, right? And then you validate your offer. Once your offer is validated, it's a game changer, right? All you need is one validated offer. Again, like companies go to multiple 7-8 figures with one offer. Crazy, right? So I mean, in my business, I have 2 offers. Like I have a B2C and a B2B. That's it, right? You see my offer. It's not even that extravagant. It's just straightforward, right? It's simple.
Yeah, it's simple. The visual is good. attractive, right? You want to read it. It's not,
Right.
doesn't look boring.
Right.
So yeah, I know where you get, all of the B2B business from that offer.
Yeah. Well,
For
and
sure.
again, it works like universally across the board. We're doing it with electricians, we're doing it with plumbers, we're doing it with like
Mhm.
anybody that wants to do B2B. The principle's the same, right? Be different than everyone else. No other fucking trade is out there coming to the table with solutions to the
Yeah.
problems. They're coming to the table offering their services. Don't be
Yeah.
that guy. Simple, like it's just simple math, right? Like if you stand out and look different, eventually, again, people are going to see you as more than a commodity and they see you as a brand. Once you're
Mhm.
seen as a brand, now you can start to get, prices that are going to keep you in business, right? So that's the way I always look. I sell a brand. I don't sell fucking commodity services,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Here, one of the biggest brand in Alberta here for the insurance
Mhm.
world. They do a little bit of property management, but they're doing about, 20, 30 mil on relationship with the
Yeah.
insurance.
But you can do the
So
same thing as well. Like again, I guarantee you that
100%.
they're
Yeah.
running something like this because that's an easy, like again, like it's
I don't
such an
even
easy to
sure.
target, right?
I don't think they're doing that. I think there's just been so long in that they've been here for 25 years. I don't
That's
think
that
they're.
in itself is an advantage too, because if they have been and they're the only ones that people that the companies are going to, sure as hell they're sick of them, right? So
Yeah, that's why we're coming in.
all right, guys, I got to jump.
Okay.
All right.
It's been good, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jay.